Hey everybody, Jimmy here from Michigan Outdoors Television. Thanks for watching this week's show. We're going to be doing a really cool giveaway with our friends from G5, giving away a few different packs of broadheads. All you got to do to enter to win is subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment and like on this week's show. That's all you got to do. Thanks to our friends from G5. Enjoy this week's show.
Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by...
For over 30 years, Vanguard Outdoors has made the gear that turns a regular hunt into another fine day of field. We know that a good shooting stick or a nice pair of binoculars can make or break your day. Our design teams include serious hunters who work hard to bring you the best sporting optics, shooting sticks, tripods, bags, and more. We are Vanguard Outdoors.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Sialik and we put together a brand new show for you this week. We'll kick it off in the northeastern part of the Lower Peninsula, where I'll take you to Hubbard Lake, where we're chasing after some walleyes, and then we'll take a look at an ongoing natural resources tragedy that's happening in that part of the state. You won't want to miss that. And then we'll switch gears and Jimmy will tag along on a very special hunt.
Well, that's right, Jenny. I heard about a group of guys along with the Path Foundation that were putting together a very special hunt for a really cool guy. You won't want to miss that. And we're going to have a very good trout recipe on this week's show as well. So lots of good stuff, lots of variety on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988, offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com.
By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories on the web at g5outdoors.com.
By Green Mark Equipment. Green Mark Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. Green Mark provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com.
This moment brought to you by DTE's Clean Vision.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jenny.
Eric, what's going on today?
Well, we're here at beautiful Hubbard Lake in Elkhorn County in northeast Michigan, and we are going to go out and try and get a few walleyes, target some suspended fish. I'm going to do a variety of a mix of trolling and casting techniques, and kind of just have a good day. It's a beautiful day out, calm winds, and we're going to have some fun.
Awesome. Who do we have with us?
I've got my son Brady, my dad Rich. So we're doing a 1-2 punch here. We're fishing for suspended walleyes on Hubbard Lake, and we're going to be pulling some offshore planer boards with inline weights. I use these inline guppy weights from Offshore Tackle. Got a great swivel on them. Great setup. So I use the OR12 planer board with the adjustable tattle flag. Sometimes these fish bite really light, and that flag will just barely lay back if there's a fish on there. So we're gonna be doing two things. So we're trolling the offshore planer boards and we're casting. So my dad is probably going to be watching the planer boards for a while here, and we'll switch off and on. But we're gonna try and get a few fish doing this, and then my son Brady and I are going to be up on the bow of the boat casting for suspended fish on the live scope. So should be a fun day. So we'll see what happens, and we'll get after them. I have Garmin Live Scope, and it's a forward-facing sonar. It's been on the market and been out for about 3-4 years now. Some various versions of it, but it's a forward-facing sonar. So basically, what you're doing is you're looking up ahead of the boat or wherever your transducer is pointed. and you can see fish in real time. You can see them interact with your bait. They can swim, but they can't hide. So it's a game changer. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of, a lot of people call it video game fishing. It is not a guarantee. It's still a challenge to catch these fish. A lot of people that I know have bought it and still struggle to catch them, but it's fun when you learn it. It's a good time. It's just another tool in the toolbox, right? So we're gonna get a peek at it today, and we should have some fun.
Eric was marking fish right away at the first stop, so he and Brady wasted no time getting some baits in front of them. Rich had the same view of the live scope sonar on his readout at the back of the boat and was teaching me how to identify the fish on the screen when Eric connected with the first one of the morning. We got one, just like that.
And just like that. Pull that. Oh, that's a really nice one. There we go. He's not playing nice for the camera, is he?
Oh, whoa.
That's a beauty, hey?
Holy moly, that's a Hubbard Lake walleye.
That is a nice Hubbard Lake walleye.
The elusive. Nice fish. Is this kind of typical out here?
You know, the fish in the lake are really healthy right now. So this is probably a little bit better than average, but really nice fish going on right now. And I would say your average is probably in that 17 to 19 inch range, but they're really healthy. They're thick. They're really well built. They've got a great food base in here. The perch population is really healthy, and actually the walleye population is down a little bit. And I think because of that, I think they're eating better, and they're really beefy.
Nice.
But I don't like to keep too many of them, so we're going to put this one back. Beautiful fish like that, I'd rather keep some smaller ones for eating. So.
This style of fishing takes a little time to perfect and a little patience to figure it out. Eric uses a medium light, extra fast rod with a high-speed spinning reel. He also uses an arsenal of baits.
Jigging Raps, I got a mixture of Jigging Raps, shiver minnows, and Acme hyper glides, or hyper rattles, not hyper glides. The kind of just depends on the day. Shiver minnows are one of my favorites to throw, especially when these fish start setting up in deeper water and they're close to bottom. Right now today, the hyper rattle's kind of doing the deal.
We didn't see very many other anglers out here casting for walleye today, but Eric says it's been around for a while now.
I've fished glide baits on Hubbard Lake for years, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years maybe. But today we were actually using forward-facing sonar. I use a Garmin live scope, and it's a newer way to fish. It's been around for several years, but it's a fun way to fish. It adds a whole nother element of, you can see the fish and watch the fish that you're casting to, see how they react to your bait, and change your cadence and your retrieve based on how those fish are interacting with your bait. And it's funny, sometimes one person in the boat will have a hot hand, and it just is simply a matter of how they're working that bait. It might be a little bit differently than somebody else, and this could be the smallest little thing, but it's a lot about experimentation. Today I was definitely giving it to it. Sometimes it's just a real soft little pop. Sometimes sometimes you gotta really aggressively rip it. Again, that's what makes it fun, right? So it's the experimentation with the bait, and just you're trying to trick a particular fish. You can it makes it fun. Thank you. Let's see if we can get Brady to crack a couple here.
Right.
There you go. So these fish it depends on where I see them. You search for the fish using your electronics. You run the boat at speed. It's important to have your electronics dialed in where you're actually marking fish. And then I target those fish that I see. If I don't see fish, I don't fish them. It's pretty much that simple, because you can't catch them where they don't live, and they move every day. Hubbard Lake is it's really a big basin. There's not a ton of structure. There's a few shoreline, areas where there's some shoreline rock, and there's a few nice humps, off the mouth of East Bay. But really, the fish, throughout the year really they roam the open water, and they feed, different periods of the day. They will move up into the shallows. But typically I'm targeting those suspended fish, and they really are where you find them. I tend to target the the middle part of the lake to the south end of the lake, just because it's closer to where I launch. And no other reason than that I was up on the north end the other day and we got them up there too. But there's like I said, the real way to find those fish is use your electronics and basically target those fish. If you're not seeing them, they're not there.
Fishing with live scope sonar definitely adds a different element of fun to the experience. The trolling bite was non-existent for Eric's dad, Rich, and son Brady had a few misses on the casting bite, but Eric had the hot hand today. So those came up kind of aggressively and hit it, hey?
Yeah, they came up real aggressive. There was, 5 or 6 of them in a pack there, and I could tell just by their posture they were gonna smoke it. So it was a good size, perfect eater size.
Yeah.
So we've been releasing lots of them. We'll keep 1 or 2 for you, and good. Definitely make a great meal. These fish are delicious. So we're fishing Hubbard Lake and kind of looking at the fisheries we have in Northeast Michigan, and we have a tremendous amount of resources with not only Hubbard Lake but Long Lake, Grand Lake, Mullet and Burt. They're a little bit more to the north, but just fantastic fisheries, and those are inland fisheries. But we also have really good access in most places to the big lake, like Lake Huron, and we fish that the eastern side of northern Michigan, and we have a great fishery for everything from walleye to salmon, steelhead, lake trout, smallmouth bass. So we also have access to the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, which has a ton of shipwrecks. So we have it's not all about access to fishing. So we have a lot of recreational users, that whether it's kayakers, canoers, divers, and that's very, very popular in this area. And we have and what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the launching facility out of Black River, and that's for a reason. So we have good access in Harrisville, Oscoda, Tawas, Alpena, but we've got about a 30-mile gap on the shoreline of Lake Huron where there's not a reliable public access that is a safe harbor for boats. So throughout the year, that may exist, and what happens is the currents, the longshore currents that occur throughout the seasons will actually fill the mouth of the Black River in with sand. When the lake levels dropped in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was some permitting given to residents along the shoreline and to move rock. And the belief is what happened is that moving that rock created a situation where those longshore currents started to move that sedimentation into the river mouth at a much more rapid rate. And so basically since the early 2000s, that river's had to be dredged on a very, very regular basis to keep it open. The DNR dredges that on a fairly regular basis, and that's a whole nother issue. So the dredging events, whenever they have a dredging event, they're looking at spending between $20,000 to $27,000 per dredging event in Black River, and that happens multiple times a year. So it's not only, and that's on the taxpayers' dime, right? And we're the taxpayers. So what we're trying to do is raise an awareness of this resource that we have, this great resource in Black River. Whether you're a diver, a fisherman, canoers, kayakers, or you're just visiting Black River, to give us an awareness of what we actually have here, and try and keep that site as a viable resource, so that people are using it. It's a tremendous asset to our area, to Northeast Michigan, and we want to make sure that it's being used by the public, and we all have access to that.
The mouth of the Black River can fill in within a day or two, and if it goes for any length of time without being dredged, it can have a huge impact on the access for steelhead, Chinook and coho salmon, and other trout species who use this river as their spawning grounds. Ultimately, experts have determined that the best permanent solution here is the installation of a set of jetties or piers at the mouth of the river, which is a huge expense. Sportsmen and women can make a big difference on issues like these by contacting their state representatives and making their voices heard. Together, we can help protect and preserve our natural resources right here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
In this next story, I heard about a group of guys along with the Path Foundation that were taking a guy out on a hunt of a lifetime, and they asked if I wanted to try to capture it all on camera, and I said, count me in.
Sometimes it's interesting to see how stories find their way to the TV show.
A week or so back found me in Mount Pleasant sitting down at Woodshop Social, where we tape many of our recipes here with Chef Jim Wood. Only I wasn't here for that. I was here to meet Mark Shad. Who is Mark? Well, Mark is the reason we were all here tonight. Mark works at Ben's Great Outdoors in Marlette. His boss, along with Dennis Dobson, owner of the Double D Ranch, was here tonight as well. Helped Mark take a buck of a lifetime after a cancer diagnosis. Well, tonight they were here to treat him to a dinner as well as a Carrie Underwood concert and then an elk hunt the following day. I had heard about this and said I would love to help out, so here we all were. To see sportsmen all coming together to help each other out, well, it can be a really great thing.
I got a phone call. We had our Ben's Great Outdoors event there, and I talked to Dennis was there, and we were talking about the hunt and coming up here. He's always invited me to come up and you know, just to get away for a little bit there. And one thing led to another. He talked to the owner, Jimmy, and I got a call that said, "Oh, we're going to invite you to a Carrie Underwood concert." Another thing was my daughters went to Central Michigan, and the Woodshop Social restaurant opened up, and I was like, "Oh, we don't go to Mount Pleasant like we used to," and so we're just going to have to make a special trip to come up here. Dennis said there was really no elk this year at all, and a little time went by. I got a phone call, and broke the news about the concert. He come back and I said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to take you on a hunt. It's going to be through the Path Foundation, and a lot of things come together." Oh, and Jimmy from Michigan Outdoors is going to be there, and it just kept snowballing into a good snow pile. And then he and said, "Oh, and by the way, you're going to get an elk." So, and it was just completely a complete surprise.
It was moving to me to see Dennis helping Mark make this hunt work. Jimmy, the owner of the shop where Mark works, also chipped in to make this possible. The Path Foundation, which stands for Passing Along the Heritage. All these folks coming together for Mark as his stage 1 lung cancer has moved to stage 4 bone cancer. I was able to ask Mark just what he has learned from his battle with cancer as our morning hunt moved along.
Everything just doesn't stop because of cancer. It makes you stop and refocus things. I've actually, going through these treatments and seeing people in the treatments and stuff like that, I actually feel blessed compared to some of the people I see. In the back of your mind, it's like, okay, I'm headed down that road, you know, that type of thing. So that goes through your mind. The other thing is okay, now what, you know, stop and enjoy a few things. And you go back on memories, and I think about my kids when I first started out. My dad took me out pheasant hunting for the first time, and then when I took my daughters out, took them out pheasant hunting, and they weren't even hunting, they were just going with me, and so the hunt was pretty much not going to happen. It just was fun going out through the fields, walking along the trails. And I can remember I went to take my daughters and kind of toss them across a smaller creek, and my oldest one hung onto my arm halfway through, and she dropped right in the middle of the creek. And things like that you think about a lot more, and just the memories in hunting, especially hunting and fishing. I think back when I was younger, we used to go up into Canada fishing, and just at home out back behind the farm, or my grandparents or my uncles. You're hunting on the property out there, and you know, you run across different people over time, over the years. I run into some friends from the Bad Axe area. They had their father had bought some property up near West Branch, and we'd go up there in the wintertime and hunt snowshoes. And all those memories, when you go through cancer like that, come back, and you start thinking about things, and, you know, that was really nice. And there's definitely a lot. It gets very emotional. You know, you think the first time you hear cancer, you don't know what to think. And then after a while, I think I've come to, you know, I'm along for the ride. I'm going to let the professionals do what they do, but try to, you know, stay positive. Everybody says that's one part of to help yourself, is to try to stay positive and keep it going. And just like I said, it does refocus you a little bit, but and again too, like this. My hope here, and I really like what they've done here, is incredible. if I can beat cancer of some way, or even now, even if I have a few years of remission, some possible come out and help whoever I can, or that way, that type of thing. Cancer is a bad thing, and I'm sure everybody deals with it a little bit differently, but not the end of everything, I guess. Yeah, but you do try to enjoy, savor things just a little bit more.
Good shot, good shot. Put one more in him. Oh, hold on, he's down right there.
Good shooting there, young fella.
Perfect shot.
That was not an easy shot.
That's always fun. And you know what's even better is when they go down like that. I know Dennis doesn't like swimming in the cattails.
Come here, buddy.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job. Here, let me hold this for you.
Okay,
I got it.
All right.
You good?
Yeah.
How's the heart rate?
It's going good. I tell you, I felt it right after the trigger. I'm telling you. Thank you.
Well done.
Oh, what a shot.
Love it. I love that, huh?
Perfect. Let me tell you, I have walked up on a bull in the mountains of Colorado. I have walked up on many here in Michigan. But to hear Mark's story and to see he and his wife's walk up on this bull and to personally know what goes into fighting cancer, it was quite a moment indeed that measures up to any I've walked up on before.
That is one beautiful animal.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, a special thanks to all that made this hunt happen, and thanks to Mark for being open and honest about his journey with cancer, and for those out there dealing with it, Mark's words are very true. Life does not stop. It does make you refocus on what really matters, savor the things and people just a little bit more, and really, something we can all do a better job of right here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Well, we're here once again in Mount Pleasant, Wood Shop Social, Jim Wood, chef extraordinaire, and I believe we have some trout fillets here.
We do.
What is the plan of attack? What are we doing here, Jim?
So we're going to saute the trout and we're going to serve it with a roasted potato salad. So where we roast the potatoes beforehand,
Okay.
and then we chill them out so it gives them just a different flavor profile. And then instead of using just your standard mayonnaise mix, we're actually using Ramulad, which is a sauce we make here in-house. It's mayonnaise, horseradish, stone ground mustard, green onions. There's, I think, 12 things in it.
Wow.
So it really takes the salad to a different level.
Okay.
And then we're going to make a quick dill citrus sauce to go over top of it.
Okay. Well, let's get started. What are we going to do to these trout fillets here?
Take our fish, skin side down, put it in away from us. The oil doesn't hit you. People have a tendency to really overcook fish. Some fish is forgiving, you can do it. Other fish, not so much. But I'd say for a fillet this big, 1.5 minutes on each side, tops.
So you really didn't season that really much at all, just a little bit of salt?
Just a little bit of salt. Yeah, you don't need to, especially if you're cooking on high heat, you don't want to put pepper on here because pepper has a lot of oil in it and it burns. And it burns fast. And that'll make your fish bitter. All right, so that's good to go. I'm going to take that right off. So now we're going to add fresh orange juice, fresh lemon juice, a touch of salt, and then we're going to add some butter. And we're just going to let that do its thing. Add some dill, fresh dill.
Wow.
Which goes really good with potato salad. So now you've got those potatoes. Add half cup of cooked egg, half cup raw celery, 1/4 cup raw onion, of red onion, and 1/4 cup of green onion. And then you're going to go in with your Ramulad.
So the butter citrus sauce is just for the on top of the fish, and then this is alongside. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much we'll actually put on the fish. We'll probably put majority of it around the plate, actually.
Okay.
You've done all that work to make your skin as crispy as you can make it. You start putting sauce on top of it, a lot of times that's gonna...
Okay.
This is gonna be skin on sauteed rainbow trout with citrus butter dill sauce and a roasted potato salad.
Oh my.
Is it good?
That's really good. Holy cow, that citrus sauce.
Well, it's simple. It's got 4 ingredients. No reason to get crazy with it.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stick around in upcoming weeks because it's that time of year. We'll be hitting the woods this weekend with cameras rolling for the youth deer season. We'll share that with you in upcoming episodes. We'll show you how opening weekend of early goose season went. We'll tag along on an early UP bear hunt, and we'll do some family fishing. If you'd like to see where we are, where we're headed next, and what's going on with Michigan Out of Doors, you can always check us out online.
That's right. Online is always a good way to kind of keep tabs on us. Of course, you can do that through our website, our different social media platforms, as well as YouTube. You can subscribe there and get an email every time we post something new. Lots of good stuff happening over the next several weeks. We're going to have a few cameras out for the youth season this weekend, then the early doe season after that. The small game seasons are kicking in. The salmon are coming up the rivers. Lots of good stuff out there. Make sure you are getting out and enjoying everything that our state has to offer. And as always, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man.